A Look at Health is underwritten by the Saratoga Regional YMCA. Your health, your way.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, it's Monday, so I'm here with Dr. Paul Arciero to talk about all things healthy. Would that be right?
That's exactly right.
Good. Well, as you know, nutrition plays such a major role in our well-being that when I was talking to Dr. Paul this week, we realized that there's a direct correlation between nutrition and a subject nobody likes to talk about, but the subject of cancer.
Unfortunately, yeah, there
Right.
is. Very strong link.
Okay, would you help me and our viewers just give us an idea of why you say that?
Okay, yeah. Let's start with this, Jesse. I think this is really important. Right now, cancer is the second leading cause of death in the United States. And what cancer is an abnormal growth of cells. And it's, in many cases, a rapid growth of cells. And so the solution is to counter this rapid growth, somehow quench it and stop it and arrest this rapid growth of cells. And food is the way to do this. And we know that cancer is brought on by lots of different environmental factors, pollutants in the air, chemical exposure that we have. However, one of the ways that we can prevent cancer, in fact, 2/3 of all cancers can be prevented by lifestyle and how we treat our bodies.
Boy, that's something. You know, I've always felt that, by the way. You mentioned something to me about some of the chemicals in the things that we eat. And I think you refer to them as free radicals.
Right.
Okay,
right.
tell me a bit about that.
Sure. Yes, so we expose ourselves to lots of, as I mentioned before, pollutants and chemicals, toxins, and when those are ingested or enter into the body, they wreak havoc. And the way that they wreak havoc are by substances that are produced called free radicals. So free radicals are these, I refer to them as Tasmanian devils. Remember the old Wile E. Coyote and Bugs Bunny? So they circulate and spin, and anything in their path they destruct. And unfortunately, they damage DNA in cells, and they alter the DNA, which then leads to this rapid growth of cells. So what we want to try to do is we want to try to quench these free radicals that have formed.
Gotcha.
And certain foods seem to, first of all, trigger this increase in those free radicals.
Can you give us a sample?
Yeah.
Because you were talking about things that, they sound so obvious when you hear them, but you don't automatically think of them, right?
Yeah. So one of the most common ways that we produce free radicals through our diet is overcooked meat. So when we overcook meat, for example, when we char broil it and char grill it, to the point where we begin to develop some black charcoal on that food,
Yes, okay.
that's a carcinogen.
And what about some of the prepared
Right.
meats?
Exactly.
I call them
Cured-
prepared meats. What do you call them?
We call them cured meats
Okay,
or
okay,
processed
sure.
meats, right? So things like Slim Jims, things like certain cold cuts, and those types of highly processed cured meats also contain some of these harmful carcinogen foods.
Well, some of it sounds very obvious. You know, again, to your philosophy, go to the things that, the foods that are actually healthy foods, which are less processed foods, and foods that come out of nature some more. Now, I noticed we went grocery shopping again.
I did.
So I assume that these things here are examples of foods that we could eat to help maintain a healthy nutrition, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we have this predisposition by things that enter into our body, predominantly these food sources that increase our prevalence or susceptibility to cancer, and we call those carcinogens. So what we need to do is we need to counter those carcinogens that produce these free radicals.
Okay.
So what we can do is we can choose what we call chemopreventive foods.
Oh, right.
And
Yes,
chemopreventive foods, the most well-known of all the chemopreventive foods, are what are called phytochemicals. Phyto from the Greek word plant.
Okay, not
so
the dog.
really, right, that's right. So really what we're talking about are plant chemicals that are found within food. Now, I have to let the audience realize this, that these are non-nutritive, so they're not necessarily energy consuming. But
Gotcha.
the potency is powerful. So one of the first ones I have is green tea. And the reason is because green tea contains polyphenols. And the most powerful of which sometimes is encapsulated in a capsule that people would take is what is called epigallocatechine gallate. It's abbreviated EGCG, I know. Oh, I'm fancy.
Where were you going with that one?
But I just want to make people aware that if they do choose a green tea, sometimes if they don't have time, they just want to pop a pill, EGCG is the one that they choose. So green tea is a great source.
Gotcha, sure.
And then we have grapes. This is a little grape jelly, but grapes or grape juice, or I think you refer to once in a while having a little glass of vino.
Yes,
okay.
you could say.
Well, the grapes in wine, for example, are very protective against these free radicals because they contain a substance called resveratrol, so anti-aging. And then we have tomatoes. This is salsa, but people like to eat tomatoes with salsa.
Boy, they sure
Lycopene is the antioxidant that's in there. Turmeric, cumin, wonderful spice.
And ginger.
Ginger.
And honey.
We got honey. We got hot red pepper with capsaicin. And then the final one is garlic.
I got you. Well, this is good. Actually, you can make a diet out of that stuff, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, terrific.
Although if you eat one of these, I think you're going to be glowing in the dark. Is that
You could be. No, that's actually a great one.
Is
I mean,
it?
a little bit of spice. Yeah, you won't be glowing.
Actually, you look like you're glowing in the dark a little bit. Where'd you get that shirt?
Yeah.
California, right?
I did.
How was your trip?
The trip was fantastic.
Good,
But you know what it
great.
did? It reminded me of the wonder of being outdoors and enjoying all that's available to us in terms of plants and vegetation. So I left there last night on the plane, coming back from California, thinking, you know, the message I'd like to bring back is the vitality and the life-giving force of spring just around the corner. And so I encourage everyone to go out and plant a seed, you know, plant the seed both in terms of spring coming, but then also get into your gardens and start putting some of these plants into your garden to start growing.
Well, you want to know something? I think that has a physical ramification and a mental ramification as well, right?
It absolutely
Plant those
does.
seeds in your mind too,
Right.
to get out there, get a little healthier, pay more attention to what you're eating. You know, just an aside on California, they give new meaning to the word orange juice, don't they?
They do. Yeah.
You can wear those glasses of orange juice. You almost need to eat it with a spoon or something, right? Then go for
Rich.
a run.
Oh, and the taste is just, you know, electrifying.
All right, so winter's gone. It's springtime. We plant a few seeds in our mind to eat healthier. Plant a few in the ground so we actually have something to eat.
Absolutely.
Right.
They contain some of these phytochemicals. And
Stay away from Slim Jims.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, that sounds good.
That was
well,
good.
thank you, Paul. I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Jesse.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.